Welcome to the video. In this one, we're going to be talking about how to trade US stocks from Australia, or essentially outside of America. So that's something I do. And there's a few things that are worth considering when you are thinking about doing that, specifically as an Australian. And so I'm going to run through four sort of nice to know, nearly need to know factors that make investing overseas in America and in the US markets a bit different. So let's get into it. This is my article on the topic. I'm just going to scroll down to this section and go through these factors here. So number one is choosing the right platform. So there's a number of brokers around in Australia and obviously overseas that you can start using, but you really need to factor in what their capabilities are in terms of trading in markets that you don't live inside of. So for example, the fees that they charge and then likely to be different or based on the currency of the markets that you're investing in. So for example, I've got Self-Wealth here, which is a platform I've used previously. I don't currently at the moment, but if we go to the fees and charges there, you'll see that they charge, where is it? $9.50 per trade. They also do $9.50 per trade for Australian investing, but you'll note the currency they charge is associated with the market. So if you're trading in Australia, it's $9.50 Australian. Then if you're trading in America, it's $9.50 US dollars. So bear that in mind when you do trading. You'll be charged likely brokerage in the currency of the market. Stake is similar. Here's their pricing page here. You can see that it's Australian $3 brokerage per trade under 30K or US $3. So make note of that. You'll be trading in the currency of the markets you're investing in. So if you're looking to invest in the US market, you'll need to trade in US dollars. We'll get more onto that in a minute. What I'll also mention in terms of picking the right broker is what's the interface you're looking to utilize and what is your ability to, I guess, navigate through it. So I just showed you Self-Wealth before. Here's what that looks like. It's very much a traditional broker where you've got, the ability to put in buy and sells and search for shares and stocks and things like that. Then you've got something like Stake, which is what I'm using at the moment, which is quite a lot, well, I like to think pretty sleek, pretty minimal, and really obvious in terms of what you are doing and what you hold. So platform is a big decision and the app experience as well. We've also got Webull, which I've just started recently using as well. Webull just launched in Australia in 2022. So I don't have much in it at the moment, but as you can see, there's a lot more depth to it. Like this is the basic interface. You can do a starter interface or an advanced interface, but Webull is quite sophisticated information that it wants to show you. This is just me, my watch list here. You can see all sorts of charting and stuff. So if that's your interest, then that's definitely might be a platform you're looking to utilize as well. One final thing on picking the right platform as well is determining whether you can invest in fractional shares or not. I know that Stake and Webull, you can invest fractionally, having done it myself. What that means is you don't have to buy the full share. So for example, if we go to Stake, you'll see that NVIDIA is trading at $264. I don't have to buy one share at $264. I can just buy $100 worth of NVIDIA, which is a fraction of that share. Stake and Webull allow you fractional investing. Like I said, Self-Wealth do not. So you have to buy the whole share. I remember back when Amazon was $3,000 plus a share, I had to spend $3,000 at least to invest in Amazon over and over again. So that's another factor to consider when you're thinking about the right trading platform. So there you've got the costs, the ease of use, and also the range of stocks available. So Stake, for example, where are we? Doesn't have every single stock on the US markets available. It's got all the mainstream ones, all the more popular ETFs. To be honest, I've never not found a stock or ETF that I've wanted to buy on Stake. It's always been here, but you will find there's like those penny stocks or those brand new IPOs. Those stocks might not be available on the platform. I think it's similar with Self-Wealth. But Webull, I think, is very much more broader player in terms of what's available there. Webull, as opposed to Stake and Self-Wealth, also allow you to do pre-market and post-market trading. So overseas in America, once the market's closed, you can actually continue to trade. I don't do that myself, but for a few hours after the market closes and a few hours before the market opens each day, you can actually place trades. So Webull allows you to do that. The more Australian-based brokers, like the ones I use at Stake and Self-Wealth, don't offer that. So that's just another feature to consider when thinking about which US broker or which broker to use for US trading. Another feature that you need to consider is the tax implications. It's a quick one, but it's important. So as an overseas resident, you'll need to pay a certain proportion of tax on your investment. So if you fill out this form called the W8BEN form, this one here, you'll be able to reduce your withholding tax to 15%. And that is on top of any local tax you'll need to pay. So you still need to declare your income, dividends, capital gains alike through your individual tax return. But as well, you need to consider the withholding taxes that you might receive when you receive US dividends. So a couple of considerations there. Obviously, go to a tax professional if you're considering investing in US shares and work out exactly how these implications will affect your investing. Exchange rates and fees. So one thing I already touched on a bit is the fees that brokers will charge you depending on how you trade. So everything will be charged in US dollars for you to trade. And what that means is you actually need to transfer your money from your local currency, for me, it's Australian dollars, into US dollars. So my dashboard here says US dollars, 946, 406, I can't even count, $9,462 in the portfolio invested right there. If I was to transfer money into my account for US trading, I actually need to transfer from my Australian dollars to my US dollars first. So I click on my US account and funds. I actually transfer in Australian dollars, for example, $5,000. Bank transfer, lowest low cost fees. If you do that, you'll see here that if I put in 5,000 Australian dollars, I'll get $3,327.50. So the first step to invest in the US market when you're actually doing a trade is to fund your account. To fund your account, you need to send your money from your Australian bank account to your US trading account. Another thing that will happen through that process is your broker will likely take out an FX fee. And that's the cost of them transferring money from one currency to another. And Stake here on a $5,000 transfer in are charging me $35. That's because they charge, 70 basis points, which is their FX fee. So that's actually quite high. What that means is for every $1,000 you invest, they'll take out $7. So if you think about it that way, that's 0.7%. And if you think on top of that, they'll charge you $3 to do a trade. So if you were to trade in $1,000 and place all that money into one investment, costing you $3 brokerage, you're already down $10. You're already down 1% of your initial investment. So you've got to consider it there as well, how much money you're looking to invest and the best use of your money when you are trading on a regular basis. I know Webull are cheaper in terms of FX fees. That's why I'm starting to look at them. Where are their FX fees? That's really complicated. Deposit withdrawal, FX transfer fee, 50 basis points. That's actually gone up. I think it was 25 when they started. So it's cheaper than Stake, but it's still 0.5% for you to transfer money into Webull. And also when you transfer out, you get charge out money as well. So consider that the fees might creep up on you if you're not keeping track of them. Lastly, I just want to touch on trading hours. So living in Australia is probably the worst place to be trading US stocks because pretty much the time the market is open in America is the prime time you want to be sleeping. So for me right now, I think it's literally 12:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Australian time is when the markets are open in the USA. So it's not ideal. I got to either stay up late past 12:30 or be up before 7 to do trading within the day. Because for me, I prefer to do it during the day because you just don't know what's going to happen after hours. I've had the experience where you think you're buying at one price and the market opens and it jumps to a different price. And you're not getting the right thing. So depending on where daylight saving is at, rule of thumb is for me personally, in the summer months here in Australia, I would get up early and trade because with daylight saving adjusted for both zones, I hear at least on the East Coast, I'm doing my trading for 7 or 8 o'clock. But then in the winter months here in Australia, I'm doing it more later at night because that's just when the market's open and suitable for me to trade. It is tricky and it is an adjustment. So you need to pay attention to how often you want to trade and do your stuff in the US market there. But that's it. They're 4 kind of key areas. And within them, there's a few elements that you want to consider as well. So have a read of the full article. It's all there. I've been fairly successful in trading on the US market. So get in touch with me if you want more information on some of these factors you need to consider. But apart from that, good luck and happy investing.